Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we are going to see how to make a Streamlit dashboard. So at the end of this video, you will know how to make something like this that you see on the screen. So to highlight a few things that you see on the screen, let me show you what are all the components that you have got. First, you have got a favicon. So you can see something like this. The second thing is you have got multiple KPIs. So you have got KPI1, KPI2, KPI3, and then you have got another row of KPIs, and you can see that this is all called the secondary KPIs. And then finally you have got bunch of charts, chart 1, chart 2, and there is another section like this. So just to recap, so you're going to see how to add a favicon, and then you're going to see how to separate a layout that looks like a dashboard, and then where you can also show KPIs and charts. So let's get started with the code. So I'm going to show you the code as well as we progress. So this is how the final code would look like, but we are going to start from scratch and then we'll code. So let's quickly start, and then I have an empty directory that is called Streamlit Dashboard, and I'm going to create a new Python file there. So let me keep this file open in case if I want it. I'm going to save this, let's say dashboard.py. So that's what I want to call my dashboard file. So the important thing that we want for this particular exercise is import Streamlit as st. So meanwhile, let me stop the app that is running here. Okay, that's already stopped. So once we import Streamlit has got a lot of components, but the component that we are interested in this video right now is something called beta columns. So this is still in beta, which helps you create your layouts. So let us first create the layouts that we want. As we discussed in the start, we want a KPI layout with 3 columns. So first we want, let's call it KPI first, KPI1, and then we'll say we want st dot beta columns, and how many layouts we want 3. So we want 3 columns. I'm going to call it first KPI, second KPI, or the easiest is KPI1, KPI2, KPI3, and this is my 3 columns. And within this 3 column, I can decide what I want to show. I'm going to say with KPI1, this is how we are going to add a particular element inside a KPI. So we have defined the columns here, and this is where we are going to say what we want inside the KPI. But even before that, if you want, what we can do is we can set a small description. We can say KPI1 or the first row, and we can set it like this. And with KPI1, we are going to say markdown. Of that markdown, we are going to say what is the title that you want. Let us say this is our KPI first KPI. Okay, so after this is done, so we are going to have a number. In this case, I'm going to give a static number. So after we have this thing, the next thing we want to say is we want to say the number that we want to display, but we want to display it using some color option. So what we can do for that is simply you can actually have an HTML inside markdown. So the thing is, it is usually called unsafe allow HTML argument on Streamlit. So the reason they are saying this is because allowing HTML within your Streamlit application is not safe. So this is something that you need to consider between aesthetics and also what you want to actually show. So in this case, I'm going to enable this thing, but please keep in mind that this may not be safe because there are certain hacking attempts like cross-site scripting can be done if you have enabled this thing. So please audit your code if you are building it for your organization before deploying it completely. So what we are trying to do here is we are going to take this number, let me call it number 1, and then I am going to give it inside an f string. If you are not familiar with f string is a very amazing option that you see in the latest version of Python, something greater than 3.7ish, where you can combine text and also non-text, which is in this case a variable, and then you can print it. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to actually create an HTML code that says you have to align it to center, and the color of the text should be red, and also the number that you want to say, and this is going to be displayed as an h1 string, which means like the title string. So once this is done, all we are going to do is simply copy and paste it. So copy paste it for KPI2. So maybe in your real life you are not going to copy paste it, but what I actually want to show you is how simple it is for you to create a dashboard. So KPI2 number 2, let's call it number 2 here, and then we want KPI3, and after we have KPI3, so we are going to call it 333, just to keep it in line with what we want to call it, third KPI. So I'm going to call it number 3. So now this is done. Let me first save it in case something happens. So we have markdown title, and then we have 3 KPIs listed. Another good thing is having a line separator. So if you have multiple KPIs, it's good to have a line separator. I'm going to say markdown of, and I'm going to say BHR, which is for an horizontal line, and I also have to say unsafe true. Okay, so this is going to add a horizontal line. So next thing I want to do is I want to add another title, and after the title I want to have another set of KPIs, KPI second row, and then I'm going to say I want 5 KPIs in this case. So let's call it KPI 01, 02, 03, and another 2 KPIs, which is KPI 04 and KPI 05. So we have got 5 KPIs, and then we are calling it in this name. So now all we have to do this is just like what we did before, where we call the KPI, and then within that we are going to add whatever component that we want to add it. For simplicity, I'm going to copy whatever I've got here, and then I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to take the first object, which is my first column after we separated the layout, and I'm going to say first secondary KPI. Maybe it's such a big name, so to keep it simple, I'm going to say another first KPI, and instead of keeping the color as red, I am going to keep it slightly different. In this case, let's make it yellow, and also I want to, yeah, I think this is fine. After we have that, what is the number that we want? So let's just display the same number. Copy this, paste it. We want it approximately 4 times. Okay, so we have KPI 2, we have KPI 3, we have KPI 4, and we have KPI 5, and all these will have numbers. Okay, I think probably I missed it, so that's okay. I'll just give 5 here. That's okay. So what we have done here is we have created our first set of KPIs, we have created the second set of KPIs, and we have separated it with a line separator. And I'm going to use the same line separator again, so that I have another line separator. So right now at this point, we have the initial layout that we wanted to discuss, which is only KPIs, but we also want some charts to be displayed. But before that, in case if you want to check how does it look, we can run the code and check. But maybe we will first import pandas as PD, because we want to have a chart. Import numpy as np. So again, if you have used Streamlit before, you would probably know that you can use any chart type. It could be even interactive charts like Plotly or e-charts, any chart that you would like to use. But in this case, just because I want to explain it, I'm going to use the inbuilt chart library that is within Streamlit, which is an Altair based library. So we are going to just use it as it is. So for making a simple chart. I'm going to copy the code because I don't want to spend time making a chart. Let's quickly copy the code which we want to use to make a chart. So this is the code that we are going to use to make a chart. So first we need to design the layout for that. So what is the layout? Let's call it Streamlit Markdown of chart layout. And after that, let us say we want chart1 comma chart2 is equal to st.beta columns of 2 columns. Let's stick to 2 columns. Let's make it quick and simple for all of us to start using it. So I'm going to say with chart1 of, I'm going to paste whatever I have copied, which is a simple syntax for us to make a chart. So chart data, I'm going to say 20, and again I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it, and chart data 2, oops, I should have copied with this, but that's okay. I can just write it with chart 2 and a tab. Okay, so right now we have got 2 charts, that is again well set up. So if you have noticed in this code, there is one thing probably we did not set it up, which is the favicon that I said, and that is something that we are going to do with the set config. st.set page config. Within that, we are going to say let me just it's config, and we are going to say page title. We can give the page title, page icon, and layout. So we are going to say page title is equal to Streamlit sample dashboard template, and page icon, let me remove that, let me press escape and then get rid of the help that I'm getting. Okay, I should have probably closed the codes here. Page icon is equal to the icon that we want. In this case, I'm going to just put a chart or any emoticon. So you can either give an image or you can give a text. So I'm going to say something like this maybe, and next. Okay, done. Then the next thing is layout. We want it wide. So if you want sidebar, you can enable it. If you do not want sidebar, you can disable it, but I'm not going to touch anything in that. So at this point, we have done everything that we wanted. Let's quickly run this code and then see if this actually gives us a dashboard that we wanted to build initially. Save the code, invoke the terminal, and then say Streamlit run dashboard.py. run it. So it would give us the URL in which we have to start looking for the Streamlit dashboard that we just built. So ideally the objective is, once you have something like this built, you can start looking at your data. Probably you have another code, or within this code you modify at the top to extract your data, and then you can start filling in the variables or objects wherever we have used placeholders like 111 or 222. You can actually start using the actual data or the result of your own data and then start displaying a dashboard much faster than what you might have thought. Also, another thing that you would have probably noticed in this video that you might not have seen before on Streamlit is beta columns. It's not widely used in Streamlit community, and this is something that I wanted to also highlight, that you can right now set up your page layout using beta columns. Let's go to so you can see, oh, we have to rerun it. We can see if the favicon has changed or the page icon. Usually it's called favicon. Okay, it says page is unresponsive. Let's try again. It's loading. It's probably connecting to the server. I mean, like the local server. And then you can see the title. It says Streamlit Dashboard. Let me quickly check. The URL that we have got. Okay, we have got 8502. So it looks like the previous app is still running. So let's stop it for now. Let's kill it. $8502 is what we want actually. Probably my machine is slightly slow because I'm running two apps simultaneously at this point. But do not think that this is the speed, because this is not definitely the speed. It is the inability of my machine to run two Streamlit applications at the same time. But as you can see, the latest application that we just built is loading. I hope there is no error. So it shows KPI first row, then you can see what all components that we wanted to build. Let me just quickly highlight the components that we wanted to build. So we have a favicon. You can see there is a first row and we have three KPIs. Okay. And we have another second set of KPIs. And finally, we have two charts. If we scroll it up a little bit, you'll get to see that. And you can also see the change in color that we have got in terms of the KPI. So the first one shows in red color, the second one is in yellow color. If you remember, we made that conscious choice to show different colors. Let me close my screen. So you can see that we have got a chart layout with two charts, and these are also interactive. So you can hover on it and then it will give you the details about what are the data points about. and you can also download the chart. This is inbuilt Altair based or Vega Lite based charting that Streamlit comes with, but you can use any chart like Plotly, eCharts, or whatever interactive chart that you are familiar with. You can use those libraries, but the entire idea is to help you build something that looks like a dashboard. You can start stacking more and more dashboard, and if you want to add filters, you can add those filters in the sidebar. So currently we do not have anything in the sidebar, so that's fine, but if you want, you can start adding something in the sidebar. If you want to change your theme, I've got another video that you might have probably seen where you can go to the settings and change the theme. So go to settings, say I want light theme, click it, and then that's it. Here you go, you have got light theme. Maybe yellow color doesn't look that good if you're using light theme, but the objective is to let the user select what they want, or if they have got a system theme, we can align it with the system theme. So this is simply the Streamlit dashboard template that we wanted to build at the start of this video, and here it is. You might have noticed how simple it is. All you have to do is create the layouts, the columns that you want, and then use some kind of separator to separate one row from another row, and then ultimately you can start fitting in the content that you want for the particular column. Or this column is, again, it just acts like a div. So if you look at the source code, all it does is it helps you lay out the page in such a way that you can start adding containers to it, each and every component that you have created. I hope this video was helpful to you in creating your first Streamlit dashboard. A lot of data are available these days. For example, if you want to build something for your hobby project, there's Google mobility data, Apple mobility data, which you can use to build your first Streamlit dashboard. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I hope this video was really helpful to you in getting started with Streamlit dashboards. Take care of yourself. See you in the next video.